Hello, everyone. So exciting. I'm Maddy, and we have Marina tonight. We're both from the Mindfulmess Show Podcast, a really interesting new podcast on personal development and growth, in which we discuss a lot of exciting topics. And today we are here with Sunny as well. And it's a great privilege to have him on and to be on this live together because I actually met Sunny at Date with Destiny, at Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny 2 years ago. Yeah. An amazing event. And we actually kept in touch. And the moment came where he, was okay with the idea of actually participating on our call. So today we have an amazing relationship coach on, and he's going to help us with a lot of interesting insights and ideas that we're going to all develop together. So it's all very exciting.
Yeah, Maddy, as soon as you told me that we could do a call together, I was excited because I love both your two's energy and what you bring to this. So when we were talking about relationships, I was so excited because what we actually bring is a good cocktail. So I'm married, as most of my people know that, and most of the people that know me, but I'm married. I just got married last year. It's been amazing. And then we've got Maddy that's single, so she offers something else. We've got the lovely Marina that's also in a relationship. So when we said that we'll come together on this call, it was beautiful because we said that we could all add a bit of our own flavor and we could add something different to it. And then we could really bring this out to the next level and really impact and add value, which is the key. And that's how I met Maddy, is all about Date with Destiny, making an impact. Tony Robbins, yeah? It's all about how can we change our lives. And that's what we do now, is to serve and to help other people change their lives. Maddy, I think a lot of the clients that I have recently, they always have like problems around relationships. But most importantly, the biggest problem is now, what do we do in COVID? How do we date? How do we do things? So Maddy, are you dating right now? Or are you doing this kind of thing or what?
Well, I'm trying right now. I'm getting back into it. Like, I think COVID just, kind of shut everything down in that department in a certain way. Although I sort of kept being in touch with some people, I think it was also very difficult without actually getting to meet people to advance in that space. So now I'm sort of getting back into it. And it's interesting because I don't know where to start. In a way, where do I really meet people right now? Or is it people that I already know or that I've been in contact with? And it's a bit
Zoom
difficult
dating?
because...
Have you done any Zoom dating yet? Or?
No, I haven't.
No? Is that
a thing? Is like a Zoom dating?
I don't know. I was thinking, I'm married. I don't know about this.
I don't know either.
I need you to fill me in.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because you also don't know, how are you going to meet that person? Where are you going to meet that person? It's kind of like you're a bit in a weird situation. But I don't even know if I should go on apps because, I'm not really that sure about apps. So
yeah, because obviously, going on apps, should you meet? Do they have to be COVID proof or COVID tested before you meet? I don't even know. What is going on with that? That sounds so crazy. I guess some of the concerns for some of my clients is going through this period of time, are we actually our highest value? Or are we going to come out of it I just want to meet anyone. I just want to have fun. What's the situation with that? Because truthfully, we want to present ourselves in the best way when we meet someone. We want to actually be able to hold ourselves down and we want to show our best side instead of saying, look, I've been hidden for 4 months, maybe. I've been hidden for 4 months and anyone is good. It's more like going, look, I want to choose because I know the value of who I am. So how are you finding that side of it?
Yeah, actually that's very funny because in COVID, I went through a huge transformation, a huge personal transformation. And I decided and I chose to, take those months and work them to my advantage. So I basically went through inner physical, everything transformation to just get better and get more in touch with myself, with who I am, to kind of know who I am and know what I want.
How
So
did
I
you?
feel like I've actually grown a lot in the past months, which is weird because we've been inside most of the time, but I feel like I've grown so much in the past 6 months that I've grown more than I have in the past few years, you know? And I feel like right now, I'm also like my relationship with myself, the self-love that I have right now is so much higher than it was when I first started when the quarantine started and the isolation started. So now I feel like I'm a very high value person without any like kind of I think that we should all acknowledge that we're high value people. So I feel like I'm kind of ready to attract a person with the same values and morals as me, and also someone that wants something serious, you know? I'm not like I think everyone has had their, you know, phase of fun and you know, experimenting and meeting people and everything like that, which is fine, which is great. You grow from that. But I think that right now, knowing who I am more than ever and still being in the process, I kind of know what I want and I've had time to grow and to develop.
Wow, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I think that's so beautiful that you come out of this whole period as a different person
Yeah.
and that you're ready for the meeting the right person. And that's so key, having that self-love. And, that projects from you. So I actually think that's beautiful. So well said. How about you, Marina? How's this period been for you?
I really relate to what Maddie said as well. I think when quarantine started, I was a completely different person. I didn't really know much about myself because I didn't really have the time to discover who I am or was. And so when the quarantine started, it was the end of my university. And so I had the opportunity to actually read some books and discover what I really want to do in life, and at least in the near future. So for me, it was kind of the same as Maddie, a really transformational period. And I think like now looking back, I'm a completely different person.
How about in your relationship? How was that?
Well, I've been doing long distance for 4 years now.
Okay.
And so I was in March, when the whole quarantine happened, I was back at my university. So I came here where my boyfriend is in Vienna to quarantine together because I thought it's going to be a month, and it turned in like 4 or 5 months. So at first it was a bit weird because I've never experienced I never shared space because I'm also a single child. I didn't have like any siblings. So I never shared space. Yeah, it was very weird, to be honest. It was really weird. And it was the fact that we were at home all the time because we couldn't go out. Yeah. So obviously we had like do stuff together, like, I don't know, play on PS4 stuff. And I was like, okay, it's a bit uncomfortable for me. But I think later on, because we were kind of like really communicating very well, we were always friends, it was quite easier to adapt. So I cannot really say that it was like such a big thing, but at the beginning for sure.
Maddy, what are you feeling about future relationships? Okay, so you mentioned about sometimes stepping into that masculinity and being good enough that you don't need the guy. How do you find relationships when you own that space so much? Do you feel like the guy can show up just as much, or do you feel like the guy might even step into his feminine, or what works out with that?
I think it's just a case of like intimidation, okay. when you're trying to do everything and you're trying to be in that masculine, like the guy kind of doesn't have what to do. And I'm all about being, independent. And, I think all women have so much power in them to achieve whatever, right? But sometimes I feel like it's nice to know that you have someone to help out, even if you can do it, right? Yeah. Someone to be there to help you out. And I think that I'm really working on that with myself, because I feel like the reason why I'm in my masculine, or I think I'm more in my feminine now, but I've been in my masculine for a long time.
You're very feminine right now. I see that.
No, I think it's because I just felt like I had to prove my worth in a certain way, right? So being able to achieve that and do that myself, prove my worth, in order to be loved in a certain way, if that makes sense, right? Because just who I am is not enough. Like, I have to achieve that and do that and to get that. So I think it's more understanding that you are whole and complete, and that you're worthy of love, regardless of your age, height, weight, the way you look, what job you have, and just kind of believe that and embrace that. Because, I think now my belief is that, there's love everywhere. And like, if you're in a good state, then you attract people that are also in a good state. And if you love yourself, then you're going to attract someone that is also going to love you.
when I meet my vibration and someone else doesn't match my frequency, you're right. Because when you feel their energy is off, then that's when you think, whoa, there's something that's bad with this. And you start attracting that person. And that's actually so true. When you own your vibration and your attraction and who you are, then you attract the right people to come to you. Like all three of us are beautiful souls that are on this call, and it's amazing. But there's other ways as well. And a lot of my clients have attracted narcissists in the past before, because what happens is there's a level of self-worth that's not given. So they don't have self-worth for themselves. So what they do instead is they put their partner's needs first and their feelings first. So for example, I could be feeling shit. I could be feeling really bad about something, but my partner might tell me, oh, I'm upset. So I would forget about me. And I would just say, oh, you're upset. Okay, I'm here for you, whatever you want. But this woman could have been the reason that I was upset in the first place. But I put my needs second. I put my feelings second, and I just put theirs first. And then we continue this cycle, and this narcissist forms. They start controlling you because they know how to control you. It could be like emotional blackmail. It could be physical. It could be very tactical, stop you seeing your friends, stop putting you off people. And when they do that, it's because we're giving them permission to. And the only reason why I say that, and I know sometimes that's harsh to say, is because I believe that we take 100% accountability for our life. So we give them permission to treat us this way. But if we knew our worth and like the vibrational match, like Maddy said, then we'll go like, hold on, no one disrespects me like that. As a single female, what kind of questions do you have about getting into relationships? And what kind of questions do your friends have about relationships? What kind of things come up for you both from a lady's perspective?
Let's see. Well, yeah, how to kind of communicate how you feel. And so let's say like you have the intention of attracting a serious relationship into your life, right? How do you make it clear that you want something serious without looking like this desperate person? Like, yeah, we barely know each other and you're going to ask me like if we're going to be serious, but like, how do you make your intentions clear from the start? Because I think it's quite hard. And a lot of girls sort of feel like, oh, I don't want to be like a desperate person. Like, I don't want to say, I'm just going to pretend like I don't want anything serious so he doesn't think like I'm, stiff. You know what I mean? I think that's a question.
We actually know our self-worth. And this is done by many studies that are carried out and surveys that are carried out, is that when we actually meet somebody on our needs and we are upfront with them and honest, it seems scarier because we think, oh, I don't want this person to run away. I don't want them to not like me. But ultimately that comes down from a fear of rejection and not being good enough, which ultimately we need to really heal inside, that I am more than enough and I am good enough. And then it's not that scary to say, look, I'm looking for something long-term. It doesn't mean that straight away it's long-term, but I'm looking for something long-term. And it's okay to be upfront, because for me, I've flipped it. I believe now it's going to be a filtering system. So the ones that are just after one thing, they're going to leave. Good. That wasn't right for you. How would you like a guy to approach you or talk to you? Because some of my male clients, they ask me, how should it be? How should I talk to women? How should I chat them up online and dating apps? And Marina, maybe you don't know this as much, so maybe I'm good at Maddy more. But if you could share a story as well. But or even from your friend's experience. So how would you like a guy to approach you?
Yeah, no, just casually, like a nice hi, or how are you? Like, it doesn't have to be something, you don't have to go with like puns and all these weird, like, I mean, it can be funny, but it's kind of like, we all kind of know the puns, so you're not that original, I guess. Like we all know them.
You're savage. Whoever gets a reply back from you is like, good.
No, I'm actually very nice. I'm actually a very nice person. I reply to people. I'm fine. No, I just someone who's gonna like, don't make it awkward, if that makes sense. Just be casual about it and start like a simple conversation that ultimately will flow. Because if you started like with something small, then I'm a very good conversationalist, I guess. So I know how to take conversations and move them as well. And then, get to other topics. But at the beginning, just something simple. Like, it doesn't have to be like a huge impressive text, you know. It can just be, and not necessarily like complimenting. I think like complimenting looks as a first message is kind of sending the wrong message.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
You know?
Marina,
I don't know.
you
That's
agree?
how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. And from my friends' experience, and even from my experience, the same. It's just like keep it short, simple, nice. I think many of my friends, from what we talked about, it's also being like approached. Like, for example, well, now it's not really possible with this whole quarantine situation, but before, like even in a club, let's say, if you approach a girl nicely and you're nice about it and you don't look like you're a stalker, I guess, it's really nice. And girls really appreciate that because it takes a lot of courage, and guys also fear rejection, so I think that's actually like really nice from a girl's point of view.
And that's the key thing for a man to actually overcome is rejection. And once we overcome that, it's one of the biggest gifts that we can have. I used to play a game when I was young, which was a 100 rejection game. So whoever could get rejected 100 times wins a prize, kind of thing. But it was a fun twist on it because we related it to pleasure, not pain. And, you know, most of the time, rejection is linked to pain. So, like, if I go, I'm going to be embarrassed. And this actually goes back from our caveman days. So, you know, like when we was in the caveman area, it would be a cave woman. And we'll try with one. If she rejected us, then the rest of the people will watch. So they would see us being rejected. So then no other person would try to get with us either. So that's why it actually is innate in us biologically that we feel that fear of rejection. So what advice would you give them or your younger self in that case?
I know what advice I would, because I gave this to my sister before she started dating her boyfriend. Give more people a chance, because through the years, like I feel like I haven't given some people a chance, and you never know, like that could have been something amazing, like that could have been like an amazing love story, right? But you didn't, like I didn't give that person a chance. So, you know, sometimes you just have to risk it, because sometimes we don't give the chance because we're afraid we're going to be rejected, or it isn't going to work out, or they're not the right person based on our standards or whatever. But sometimes it's just to kind of jump in and try it out. And you know, it could go two ways. Like you could get rejected, or it could be the love of your life. Yeah. So, and if you do get rejected, like you're going to cry about it and you're going to suffer a little bit, but then you're going to get up and start over, right? So I think that's what I would tell my younger self. And that's what I would tell myself now. Give more people a chance, risk it a little bit. Like don't, because if you keep sitting there and just waiting and, you know, not taking any chances, then you're not going to experience the, you know, the love that you want.
Love is courage. That's what I believe. Love is courage. And that's exactly what you're saying from what I picked up on. Have the courage to actually be open, try, even if you do get hurt. So yeah, I love that. Marina, go on. What would you give your younger self, either in a relationship, a long distance relationship, or anything actually? Maybe
I think it's know your worth and love yourself first. I think I would tell that to myself when I would be in high school, before I would start going on dates or whatever. I would just be like, love yourself and know your worth, because honestly, like some people, like Maddy said, you know, like some people just need a chance, but if you don't know your worth and if you don't love yourself, that maybe you won't give them a chance because you're going to be afraid to be rejected. But also some people they're not worthy of your time. So just like know who you are. And then I think everything's going to be easier. That's what I was.
Oh, well said.
How about you, Sunny?
Oh, God. You have already said all the best answers. So like now, so, okay, actually, one thing I would say would be to let go. Let go of past beliefs and past things that have happened. Because when we are holding on to this, it makes us either better or worse. I'm going to get a little bit deep just for 30 seconds, all right? And when we do this is because the avoidant attachment style, we have different attachment styles on who we are. And when sometimes we've been abandoned or hurt when we were younger, we stop love from entering our life because we think that it's going to repeat itself. And then we form a new belief that we don't want love. So it's about letting go of that belief and say, you know what, now I do want love. I do want a relationship. I want things to work for me. Where if we hold on to them old beliefs and them old memories, it's going to hurt us. Same as like what you were saying with the worth. When we're younger and like we might be the middle child, or we might not have got the love that we wanted, and then we always needed it and we always had to perform for it. Let go of that, because that's not who you are now. Because who you are now is stronger, that's better, and now you're full and wholesome. So recognize who you are now and allow that love to come in.